All right, so I got the Massey Ferguson 1105 pulled down here at the edge of this field, and I'm hoping to have a bush hog, a wider bush hog than the 5 foot I've been using on my Massey Ferguson 50 and my John Deere 5055. I'd like to put a 15 foot Batwing on this mower. I have the 1000 PTO shaft. Actually, when I got it, it had the 1000 PTO shaft, and they had this 540 shaft, and so I swapped it out. And obviously 15 foot would be nice. 1000 PTO would be nice just to protect the drive lines. 15 foot would make quick work of a lot of trimming that we've got around here, and it would give me something to exercise this 1105 in the off season. I kind of feel like you need to run these tractors at least once a month to kind of keep the seals in place and lubricated and all of that stuff. And so a 15 foot Batwing would be really nice. I mean, even out there where I was mowing, it's a big enough spot for a 15 foot. So the other type of bush hog I'm looking at is a 10 foot rigid 2-spindle rotary cutter. And the idea there is it would be something I could run on this tractor and my John Deere. And the John Deere, there's a limit to how much weight you can put on the tongue, and obviously on a 15 foot bush hog it's too heavy and there's not enough horsepower. But on a 10 foot bush hog, I do have enough horsepower. I mean, I'm not going to be racing around the field, and I'm not going to be mowing 10 foot tall brush with it while I do. But what the semi-mount does is it takes the load. I'm using obviously my Massey Ferguson here as illustration, but it takes the load off the tongue and puts it on the 3-point, which I've got plenty of lift capacity on my John Deere. And so I'd be looking at a category 2 with 540 PTO, and because it's 10 foot, I'm not sure that 1000 PTO is as necessary. So that would keep me from changing out my stub shaft on this one. It would give me a second machine to put a bush hog on. I've been watching as I drive my 5 foot Hardy bush hog on my little Massey 50, and I look, there's 5 foot and there's another 5 foot, and my thought is a 10 foot would cut my time trimming and bush hogging in half. And that would be a pretty significant gain. And but the other thing is, 2 other things that come to mind with the 10 foot rigid semi-mount bush hog. One of them is I get away from a CV PTO shaft. It's just a simple straight shaft. It doesn't go side to side. Whatever up and down play there is. It's not like a pull behind where I could be way over here with the pull behind and have U-joint chatter. I don't think that comes into play with a semi-mount. But the other thing is with this just the CV joint on there. The other thing is by having by having just a simple PTO shaft, it's less expensive, it's easier to handle, and if I have to replace it, it's not as big of a deal. It's not as big of an expense. Those CV joints are really, really expensive. The other thing I think about in regards to the 10 foot fixed bush hog semi-mount is when I look at the specifications on those things, on pretty much all the brands I mean, there's some that are a little lower end, but they all look like they're made to have the, you know, the living daylights beat out of them. They've got big gearboxes, you know, big splitters, gearbox, you know, horsepower ratings, and I guess they put them on these big tractors, you know, these big, you know, these big tractors, and you know, they get in the ditches and in the heavy brush and whatnot, and so for less money, you know, while you don't get as wide of a cut, you get a whole lot better constructed bush hog. You know, the decks are thicker, the side skirts are thicker. It's just like they're just designed to be completely tortured. And, you know, obviously we're not going to do that up here, but what I'm thinking about, you know, long term, it might be nice to have a bush hog that would last, you know, 20 or 30 years, and you know, carry my boys on into the future when they're ready to take over. And so 10 foot might be a possibility. I'd be curious to comments and your experiences with a 10 foot fixed bush hog and 540 PTO